Not at all. Actually got my hearing back like 3 years ago.
Yo, he was really.
Yeah.
What happened to your hearing? I was just joking. Are you joking?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, how about the sound? Say what?
No, I mean,
amazing.
The older you get, the more it goes.
I know, it's like the vision.
Yeah, definitely vision.
Yes, indeed. Let me try this. Okay, man, it's good to see you though.
Good to see you too.
That's what's up, man. Like for real.
Yeah.
This is incredible. We finally got down to do this.
Finally, yeah. And then it's gonna be really short.
That is sad. Amazing. Wow.
I'm sorry. My bad.
You good. You're an interesting person.
So what about you? You ask everybody else what's going on with them, but no one ever asks you, what is going on with you, man?
Nothing. I mean, it's a lot. All right, thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk Patrick Podcast, one of the realest podcasts in the world, the Atlantic Galaxy, and the whole entire universe. That is right, your guy, P. Thriller, aka Mr. Patrick, and I am back with another episode. This time, I have some family this time. Bloodline. It's my sister, Jayivey Marie White, or Thrasher White.
Yes.
But, yeah, she's very talented. She been drawing for a long time, for many years. And, she's a very unique person for sure. Very artistic. So how's everything going?
Everything's going good.
Yeah.
As it could.
Right.
Considering. But, yeah, for the most part, I'm here. I'm alive. I am taking life by the seat of my pants. So just going by it. Just...
You said the seat of your pants? Amazing.
You know what I mean. I'm just going by it, like just by the wind, just going with the flow. Yeah, that's what I mean. There we go, going by the.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I mean, you seem to be doing okay. You're trying to flourish. You're trying to create things. Your kids growing up.
Yes,
and
best.
Logan's not vital, but violin recital was pretty dope.
Yeah. He's doing really well. He's only been playing violin for about 7 months.
7 months.
So, and he's already pretty good, like considering, because violin is a very it's actually a complex instrument.
Yeah, I mean most instruments are.
Yeah,
but that one's definitely different.
Well, that's one of the ones that there is a technique. You can't just be going, So
right. Is it like certain, like with the hands?
It's like the way you hold the bow, and then even like how you hold down the string, and then even like how you move the bow against the bow is made of horsehairs and it's on the string, so it's like.
Have you tried playing it yourself?
Yes, he lets me do it sometimes.
Yeah, how you sound? Terrible, huh?
Not good.
Oh,
yes,
yeah, I figured that.
And I wouldn't say terrible, just not good.
Okay.
We're about positivity, people. Positivity.
But I was gonna say, back in the day, me and my sister would play instruments once upon a time. She played what's it, saxophone, right? Trumpet, and then you played guitar.
Yes.
And I played clarinet. This back in the 1990s, a long time ago. Not gonna say how old we are, but we've been around for a while. But we're aging gracefully.
Sort of. Hopefully. Maybe.
So do you want to like push your son into that direction as far as like making music as a career, or maybe to get scholarships for school?
I generally like to let my kids see what their talents are. Like if they are good at something, want them to, like, if they like it, then I want them to go focus on that. If it's like, oh, I love music, and I'm like, oh yeah, music, yeah, we'll focus on that. Like I don't want to push them to do something that if they're not really all into it, because then they're not going to give it their all. So he likes violin. He tried to give up, and I'm like, okay, that's the only thing with this one is that violin was $5,000.
What?
And it was used. So
I didn't know that.
Yes. So I was like, if you're gonna play it, if we're gonna get this for you, then you have to at least play violin, at least until it's paid off or something. But
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, that's what the whole issue. Like he was like really adamant about it. He's like, I really want to play violin. I was like, if you really want to play it, then you have to stick with it until at least until it's paid off. I hate to put it that way, but that's a lot of money to throw away.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and he also wanted to do what was it? He wanted to do baseball and football. I don't know about football for him, but baseball maybe.
Yeah.
Um, and so so and he's also into video, so he wants to do video, and I'm like, okay, maybe we'll work on some video. I can help him with that,
As far as like being a video producer,
like making videos
making
and
videos.
editing
Okay.
them. He likes that, and he's doing coding. He's making video games right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot he is making video games. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, he's kind of self-teaching himself how to code games.
Wow. He's
So
very smart.
yeah, it's sometimes too smart for his own good. But yeah, he's so I like if that's what he's into. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's find some positive in that and go towards that direction.
So he is 9 going on 10
Yeah, he'll be 10 next week.
next week. Okay. So by the time this come out, he'll be 10 years old in
He'll
a
be 10.
few weeks.
Yes,
All right, cool.
in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, I forgot about the dates.
Yeah. Now you good. So and then Marcos, he just his own little entity.
Marcos is yes, he's my wild child. He's a little bit of everything. It's so weird because how his personality is. He's really wild, but then he has all these like great traits about him. Like
He's very smart.
yeah, too smart again, but he's very smart. He's emotionally intelligent too, which is like okay, like one of your friends talked about her son, what he do when someone's sad. Marcos does the same thing. If you're sad, he come up to you, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" And pat you on the back and try to give you something to make you feel better.
I don't see him crying for somebody though.
No, he's not gonna do that. But he will comfort you.
Right.
But he can cook. He does chores. I taught him how to work the washing machine, and he can make eggs, fried eggs.
Okay.
He knows how to vacuum. He can, fold laundry.
Okay.
So
if I need some help, I hit him up.
Yeah.
All right, that's
he
what's
vacuums
up.
out the car. He's good, and he talks to people. He has very interesting questions. I'm like, okay. So yeah, but he's like I said, he's my interesting wild child. But yeah,
And he's 7 years old, right?
yeah, he's just 7.
Wow, 7 going on 30.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
he's something else. I love him. I love both of them kids.
he could throw a jab too.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Naturally.
He is ferocious at times.
Yes, he can be very ferocious. My child.
Nah, you doing good as a mom. I commend you. Sometimes I can't believe you're still a mom. I mean, I know you've been a mom for a while.
Yeah, I can't either. It's like sometimes it feels like I may wake up, I'm like, I'm not still 20. Oh my gosh, no. And then it's like, oh, I do have kids. Oh yeah, I am a mom. That's right.
Right.
Hey guys,
So now I'm gonna kind of segue to art though. So when you started drawing, right? Because your son do, into whatever. But
yeah,
when you got into art, because of course our father was in art, he drew.
yeah.
So what was your influence to draw? Like what got you into that?
Honestly, it was Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I remember being a little kid, and I kind of looked up to him when I was around like 4 or 5 years old, and then his paintings he would show us and stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, I would try to do little things. Like I started off drawing hearts and stuff, like little simple stuff, and then it was like, I guess one day I realized I had a talent because I never forget, I was in the 3rd grade and they asked us to draw a portrait of our family, and I drew you, me, mom, dad, and Frankie, and our dog at the time. I think it was Sydney and Twinkle. And the teacher was like, oh my gosh, she thought that was like so good, and I was like, really? And she showed Mom. She's like, oh, she has a talent. So then after that, it was just kind of like, oh yeah, you can draw, and I didn't know I could draw, but everyone else told me I could. So I was like, oh, I guess I can. So yeah, just that's and I usually just draw like out of my head, like whatever's in my head, I draw what I see in my head. So
that's what I respect about it, the fact you do that. You don't trace pictures and then pretend like it's yours.
Yeah,
some people did that. It was back in school. So I used to draw a little bit, then I stopped. I got more into the music thing though. That was my art.
Yeah, that's another form of art. It's just like there's all the different types of arts: performing arts, visual arts, and then audio. So yeah, there's all these different forms of art, and this art you have to create it. So
So do you still draw at times or not really?
Yeah, I doodle more than I draw, but yeah, I do draw because it's just something that come naturally. Like if I'm sitting there and there's a pencil or a pen and there's paper, then something in me makes me want to just do a little doodle off to the side. Whatever it is, it might be like a random flower or cat or something, or a stick figure, or I might draw how I'm feeling.
Right.
So yeah, usually it's a lot of times draw how I'm feeling at the moment. So
Yeah, now that's pretty cool though. I mean, do you draw for inspiration? A lot of times, like if you have a bad day, make you want to draw, or if you have a good day, make you want to draw.
yeah,
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 or
a lot
something
of
you see on the side of the road.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's some random spark. I might ride and see like a billboard. I might see a couple and they're doing something like at a restaurant or something. I'm like, hmm. Or I might get a random idea when I'm just sitting there, like, oh yeah, it comes in spurts. Sometimes I have a block and I'm not in the mood and it don't happen, especially when there's a lot going on.
right.
But then other times it's like, uh, I might see something like that would be neat to draw, like, um, people I see in the airport. You see all kinds of people in the airport.
Oh, facts. Yeah,
Yeah, I saw this one lady. She was dressed in this, like, she looked like she came straight out of the '60s. Like she had on this, like,
it was here or in Atlanta.
it was here,
Oh, okay.
and it was just the way she was dressed, and she looked really cool. And some people feel a certain way about you, like doodling them or taking pictures of them without their permission. So you have to do it on a low,
Well, because
unless you ask.
some people are weird though.
That's true, but
They do weird things with photos.
yeah, that's true. But I was doing it for inspiration or just kind of like reference for later. And that's one thing I had to do in art school was that they made us do that. We'll go and sit in coffee houses or in the park and draw people or animals and for research. That's what animators do when they are working on a movie, depending on what the movie is about. Like, example, for the Lion King, they would go to the zoo and draw the lions and stuff, like studies like how their movements and their body and the muscles, just so they can have an accurate cartoon drawing of it. So
Right.
it's research basically.
Yeah.
So it's like, it makes sense. And yeah, so the more people or more things that you draw, the better you get. So even if it's just straight random quick sketch of somebody sitting down having coffee or something, it's all reference. It helps in the end of the day.
So who you think was your big supporter when it comes to your art?
Um, it used to be mom.
Right.
Yeah, she was my biggest supporter. She thought that everything I did looked good. And I'm like, no, it didn't, but okay.
Right.
And she was always like, oh, you're gonna do great. I think you're gonna be big. You're gonna do good. And then it was like, my teacher, I don't know if you remember Mr. Harvell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very supportive.
Right. Yeah, he was an art teacher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was very supportive, even when I didn't have his class anymore.
Well, Mr. Millsap.
Mr. Millsap too. Yeah, I kept in contact with him for years, and even on Facebook. But it's been a while. I don't know if he's on there anymore.
You haven't looked for him, did you?
No. I looked for him last year. Shut up. I looked for him last year because he popped up in my mind. Like, I used to have a class with his wife. She
Yeah,
did drama.
yeah. She was my drama teacher.
Yeah, me too. So I'm like, okay, her. I wonder what he's doing. So yeah, I looked for him, and I don't think he's active. Like, he's online, but it looked like he haven't checked his page in a while. But yeah, he was really cool. Every art teacher I had or met, they were always really supportive. And then there was like maybe a handful of friends like, you're good. You always been good. And of course you.
Right.
Everybody that you talk to about me, you say nice things. I appreciate it. I don't know if you believe what you're saying.
No, I do. I know. I think you're a very talented artist, for real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just because you're my sister.
Thanks,
or whoever you're supposed to be. But you're a very talented artist. You've been drawing for a long time.
Yes, very long time.
30-something years you've been drawing.
Yes.
You drawing your homework. You drawing your notes.
Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, Mr. Gertz. He was one of my big supporters. He's the mayor of Athens right now, but he was my 7th grade literature teacher. And I would draw comics on the bottom of my test papers every Friday, and it would be like a continuous thing. Like, it'll be like the first part, and then tune in next week for the next one. And he used to enjoy it. My other teachers, not so much. But they're like, you need to be focusing on this assignment and not what this is. And I'm like, okay. But he was like, oh, you got a C on this, but I really should come on the bottom. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, thanks, man. So he was very supportive. And I really appreciate him because it was like, yeah, I had two friends in that class, and and we would sit and talk at the end of class, and I would talk to him after school, and he was like, yeah, you really got a talent there, and and we'd talk about like jazz music. It was the most random
Oh,
thing.
that's dope though.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So do you feel that AI is affecting art?
Yes.
Yeah, in a
The,
bad way.
yes and no. See, I talked to an Uber driver yesterday, actually.
Okay.
And he was into the AI thing like
Uh-huh.
fully. And he was saying that it should go hand in hand. And I'm like, how is that? Because AI is basically just generating art in a few seconds, and it's a machine, and it has no human, interaction with it or whatever at all. And that's what most artists
No
like
emotion.
myself, yeah, we have an issue with it because it's taking away like any kind of like humanness or
Will take
whatever.
away opportunity.
Opportunity to job and creativeness. Like a machine can like throw something together really fast, but then you kind of lose like the love and appreciation for actual real artists, like people who take their time, their talent, because art is hard. Even if I
Yeah.
sit there and doodle something, it looks like it's easy. It's still hard. It's
Yeah, it
hard. It's
is.
really hard.
Yeah, it is. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, and then even if you don't like, and like I said, I draw out of my head, so I don't always have something to draw. Like it's always like sometimes I'm blank, sometimes I'm seeing stuff and I'm like, I can't get this angle right. Like I see it, but I can't get it right. So it's hard, and then you have to think about like perspective and angles and shading and tint and all this other stuff, and it's a lot that goes into it. Then you got this machine that's like type in man with a coffee cup, and then it's like 5 seconds later, man with a coffee cup, and then it's beautiful and all its colors and blah blah blah, and you're like, that would have taken me about 2 hours,
Right.
so and it's the easy way out for people who aren't artistic and they need something right away and they don't have the time. I get it, but for everyone else, it's just kind of like, really. So I'm not the most fond of AI art when it comes to that kind of stuff. I heard AI does some great things with other things like resume building.
Well, yeah, that for sure.
Yeah, and like other stuff, I guess, but it seemed like it's taken over a lot of industries, but it's definitely in the animation illustration fields is
Music.
music, yeah. That's ridiculous.
I know.
And it's also scary what they're doing with like they only need a slight clip of your voice and they can have you saying anything.
Exactly.
Weird.
Right. Oh, jeez.
Imagine the people that like have to go to court and stuff, and then like, I didn't do it. Well, we got this video you saying that you did.
I know. I didn't do that, man. Yeah, indeed, man. Oh, jeez. Right. I mean, even like holding somebody for ransom, like a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh
yeah.
no, you got to pay $1 million or blah 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 to get your kids, and it's not even true. It's like, yeah.
No, they're doing it. I met this person that told me they did that. They tried to like they tricked him. They called him and
This
said,
person said he admitted that he did that.
No, he didn't say he did it. I met this lady and she was telling me that she had a prank caller or a scammer.
Oh.
And they called her and said that they had her daughter or something. And they were like, we have your daughter, for ransom, blah, blah, blah. And they had her voice saying, Mom, please, they got me. And it wasn't her. It was AI. And I'm like, are you serious?
That is so crazy.
Yeah. And they were trying to get money
Wow.
out of her. But all they needed was a clip of her voice.
Amazing.
And they have videos about it. Like people talking about it. And it's
amazing.
Like, it's a thing.
That is sad.
It's scary.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm like, and then I like you, I talk to strangers sometimes, so I hear different things, different people. I don't know what's true, what's not. I'm just telling you what I heard.
Well, speaking of scamming, you've been scammed before.
Yes.
It's school.
Quite a bit. Oh yeah,
art
definitely
school.
At art school.
Yeah. And I remember this situation. This happened back in 2008, and I remember that.
Yeah.
You had a teacher, well, a pseudo teacher.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't even know if you want to call him a teacher, but
yeah, an imposter.
Yeah, he called himself our Professor Howard, is what he went by. Now I'm not even sure if that's his real name.
No, I don't know either.
I don't know. Apparently, he was a huge con artist, and he was from California somewhere. I think it was, I don't know what part. It might have been LA, but the way he used to talk about California, though. But anyway, and he would make it seem like it was just so great, which I'm sure it is, but the art scene and all that he's done and stuff. And we're like, okay, yeah. So he comes to my class, and it's a small class. It's about 15 of us in there, and well, I don't know if that's small, but and he talked to me and like 5 other guys maybe it was four other guys, so five including me. And he was like, you guys, I came from this place that the art scene is booming over there. I make all this money, blah, blah. And it's like, why are you here? And he's like, well, my son is out here and I came to teach and I still fly out there and do art and, whatever, whatever. And we're like, okay. So he gives us this idea that how about outside of school hours, because you're not going to learn much here, but I can teach you everything that you need to know in the industry in a little to like 2 months for $2,000. I will fly you out there to LA. You will meet all my contacts, and we'll, have a good time. We'll mingle, mix and mingle. And, I'll teach you all my techniques and this and that, all this for $2,000. And, me and the other guys, we were like, okay, that sounds, and we believed him. He was very convincing. And we're like, okay, so it started out at first like, hey, and so we're giving him money. He put some of us on payment plans. Others, like, I paid him $2,000 right off the bat, because I had got a refund check for school. And I'm like, well, this is worth an investment. So I gave it to him, and I wasn't feeling the school anyway, so anything sounds better than
Yeah, I get it.
And I was like, cool. And yeah, the other guys, they were paying on it, and some of them paid it off, and the other guy was still paying. And we're like, okay, cool. So then we go to his house one day, and he showed us some of his old stuff that he did over the years and his work, just to prove that, yeah, I'm a real legit artist. And we're like, yeah, okay, cool. And we're looking at all his stuff and whatever. And he was in the process of moving, and we're like, didn't think anything of it. And then it's like a few weeks later, he buys a house. And we're like, oh, okay, And then he's invites us over there. And then he's like, well, the crew that I had, I really need some help getting the stuff done. And but one of your first exercises today, we're gonna, paint. And we're like, okay, cool. So he had us painting his walls, like his dining room, living room area and stuff, bedrooms and stuff. So, we all had a room and, wall to do. And, painting, I don't know if you ever painted a wall. It's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah.
You're tired, your arm, it's a lot.
I painted a porch. That was hard, too.
Yes. So,
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're doing this all day. We started in the morning. We were still there at night, almost to midnight. We was there at his house all day long. We took one break and ate a little bit. I know, right? And so it's kind of funny. And he has all this money buying supplies, and nobody's thinking anything of it. So in the meantime, he's getting free labor out of us. Supplies. We paying his bills. We paying daycare for his kid. The money that we gave him. And so it's like, and we're not, no one's paying us any attention. I know I wasn't. And like the other guy, one of the guys, he was just really like looked up to him. So of course he wasn't paying any attention. He was just kind of like, oh man, whatever he say, I believe, and we're like, okay. So it was like, one night he came on to me and he's like, hey, so if you ever, do you ever get lonely sometime? At the time I had a boyfriend, but we broke up for like a week or something. And he was like, do you ever, get lonely sometime? I'm like, not really, not like that, And his kid was in the other room, and I'm sitting here like, your son is like right over there, man. Like, seriously, you're gonna try this right now? And he's like, I mean, he's not gonna know anything and blah blah blah. And I was like, no. I was like, I think we should just keep this like, student teacher kind of, thing. And he was like, okay. But he still tried me again, like, later. And then I'm like, I can't be alone with this guy. Like, seriously. And I kept setting myself up for the okie doke because I didn't have a car at the time. And he drove me home from school one day and took me back to his place. So that's how I ended up there in the first place. And he was supposed to take me home, but he said he had to let his dog out. And then I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm sitting in the car, and it's been a while, and he didn't come back outside. And I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, do you want to come in for a second? And I'm like, okay. And I go in there, and then it's like dark and stuff. And I'm like,
Wow.
And he was like half naked, and I'm sitting here like,
Really?
Yeah. I know it's not funny.
That is sad.
It really is sad. It's like one of those things. Like at the moment, it wasn't funny, but I can laugh about it now
because you went through it.
Yeah, and it's like
it's in the rear view now.
Yeah, it's worse things happen after that.
Yeah, a lot of worse things for sure.
Yeah, and he's like, he was super. You know what? One of the main things that stopped him was his son woke up, and then I was like, God.
That's
And I went
crazy.
home and I made sure I wasn't alone with him anymore. Every time it was like we was over there, it was like one of the guys was there, and I was just kind of like close to one of the other guys in the room. Um, it was two of the guys were twins, and one of the guys, he was just a guy that was like I said, look up to him. And I was like asking him on like private, I said, do you really think this guy's a real big deal? And he was like, yeah, why would you say that? And I'm like, just something seems off. And that was after that. And I was just trying to see if anybody else was thinking the same thing. So then after a while, something clicked one day. I was like, we're never getting that money back. And so that's $2,000. I was like, we are not getting that money back. And I was like, are you gonna ever, like I asked him when I was like, are you gonna show us anything? Because you haven't showed us anything art, like any techniques, like how to do anything other than outside of class, like in the classroom. Yeah, but he had days where he wouldn't show up to class, and the people in the class would get mad because we're paying like $1,300, a month or whatever, a quarter for the class. So some people are serious about it. They're like, we're paying all this money and you're not showing up to teach it. And he would cancel. And so they were pissed off, and he was barely teaching the class and he wasn't doing anything. And then sometimes he'll even put a video on and be like, yeah, watch this. And it was not related.
It was like Little Mermaid or something?
No.
Okay.
Though one of my teachers did work on Little Mermaid. She's legit. But he was not it. And then he ended up in the middle of the quarter, just stopped coming. Like they had to get someone to replace him. And it was like, what is going on? So in the meantime, during that time was what we were going through with him. And when I told you and Frankie about he took my money and I wanted my money back and I didn't think I was going to get it. And then it was all this stuff. And I was like, he got really pissed off at me when I told y'all about it. But what was I supposed to do? He wasn't gonna give my money back, and I was like, I need that money. And
So was this after you and Frankie ran into him?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, it was not a good thing, and then it just went downhill from there. I ended up going to the courthouse and suing him. Had to pay. I forgot how much I had to pay to like file the lawsuit, but when they served him, he was upset.
Oh, I know he was.
Yeah, and I'm like, he came to my job. I worked at Starbucks at the time, and he came to my job, and I was like, ah.
Really? I didn't know he came to your job.
Yeah.
Damn. That is crazy.
I worked at the front, like I was the cashier at Starbucks. I mean, I made drinks sometimes, barista, but when he came in, I was working at the front, and he came straight in, and I was like, oh my God. Like he was walking fast, and I was like, oh my God. And he was like, did you put a lawsuit on me? And I was like, yeah, I just wanted my money. He said, you get your money. And I was like, oh my God. Like he was like, right in front of everybody. He was like pissed off. He had a Kango hat on and stuff. And I was like,
I wanted to beat him up so bad though at that time.
yeah. And the thing about it, you should have known he was con artist. He changed his look up so much. One minute he have a mustache and a beard, then he have just his mustache, then he have just a beard, then he'd be clean shaven, then he have hair, then he won't have hair, then he have hair. Like he always changed the way he looked.
Oh, so he did it for a reason, for sure. Yeah.
I didn't realize it till after the fact. No, it's because like he'll look different. Every few weeks he'll change his look up. And I was like, and I know people who do that, but
right,
there was a reason he did.
Yeah,
it.
he was. Yeah, he was on some BS big time.
Yeah, like all this, like as I'm talking about, it's all coming back to me, like the stuff that happened. But yeah, so then there was that phone call when he was like pissed off and he was talking
when you and I, Frankie was there, but me and Frankie had to be quiet.
Yes,
yeah,
and he was saying all that crap about him.
Mm-hmm. But he didn't say it in Frankie's face.
No, of course not.
No.
And like I said, he was so pissed. But happy ending. I got my money back, and then he fled the town. He went to Oregon, I guess, to attack his next victims.
Well, remember we went to his house, remember?
Yeah.
And nothing was there.
Yeah, I don't know how he did
Everything vanished.
He packed he packed the stuff up and just flew to state.
Yeah.
Like really fast. And
yeah.
I'm like, and I knew he was going to Oregon because he spoke about going to Oregon probably a few months. He said he mentioned wanting to go to Oregon next. So I think that's where he was. And then after a while, got my money back, didn't hear anything from him. And then like New Year's Day, he texted me and said, this won't be the last time you hear from me. And I was like that kind of threatening, like,
mm-hmm.
But I didn't hear anything else from him.
Good.
So I was like happy. I was kind of paranoid because I was like, oh my God, he could find me on LinkedIn or whatever. But
right.
But no, unless he looks different now and he changed his name, like I remember what he looks like. But yeah, I mean that was a crazy time.
That was crazy.
One of the crazy times because there's always been something at that school. here.
I agree with that. It was definitely something for sure.
And
they
I
got
failed the class.
oh, I'm sure you did.
Say, yo, long story short, didn't make it.
Well, you the only one that got your money back. Everybody else didn't get their money back.
Nobody else got their money back, and I felt bad for them because I speak to those guys after he left, and they were all pissed off because they were like, "What happened? He left in the middle of the quarter when no one finished the class and stuff." And then we had someone else to take over the class, but they were wondering what happened to him because they gave him money outside of the classroom. And he didn't give them their, he only gave me mine. I think it was because I sued him. And then you guys was like making a big deal. So
Right.
if I didn't do that and you guys didn't say anything and this and that, I probably wouldn't have got my money back.
Well, it was wrong because I'm like, why are he taking $2,000 and nothing is being like handled besides you come to his house and painting?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
paint his walls.
Yeah.
We weren't doing art.
So that's why I was glad because Frankie is more business savvy by the books.
Yeah.
Hitch in the pocket. So it's like I'm glad he did it because me personally, I would have ran up to him and like stalked him or something. I wanted to.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that would not be the way to do it.
No.
So what Frankie did, that got the point across.
Right.
And you filed a lawsuit.
Right.
So you got your money back. I mean, it's unfortunate everybody else didn't get their money back.
Yeah. I think that's why he left too.
Right.
He fled the scene, left the state.
Well, the jig was up.
Right? It was, yeah. And then even like others, like I'm still in touch with one of my other teachers from the school, and she even didn't have really nice things to say about him. She's like, she didn't like him at all when he started and stuff. She said, you know, he kind of was arrogant, and then which he was.
Of course he was, yeah.
And she said she heard bad things about him, and he was a con artist. So,
wow.
And she was like, yeah, he ended up leaving and stuff, and it was just one of those like, gee whiz, like where did they find this guy, and how did he get hired? So.
And this is a true story. This is like really like facts for real.
Yeah.
This not made up at all. I remember when this happened.
And of course, they were, you know, it would be me.
Yeah, of course. Well, we got to cut this episode short because, you know, we got to get you going, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Got to get going. But I will be back.
Yeah, she'll be back. She got some stuff she want to talk about for sure. I'm not going to talk about it yet, but she definitely got some plans. So it's going to be dope once it comes to fruition, and, you know, have her back on to talk about herself, her life, you know, where she came from, what she went through, and where she's at now and where she's going, her future. Oh yeah. And also she made me this cup that I showed on my last episode with Otter. She did this for me. Boop, boop. Yep. Really? Well, it looked backwards, huh? But anyway, she did it for me. She did like a few things for me when it comes to graphics. So yeah, but yeah, it's good to have you on for sure, and I can't wait to have you back.
Yeah, me too.
You want to do it in person or on the like virtual next time?
Either or, it doesn't matter.
It's fine with me.
Like yeah, if I don't make it out here in the time limit and I want to, then we could just do a virtual. But I'm definitely planning on coming back.
Okay,
so
sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have your socials that you want people to follow you as far as like your art stuff, or not really? Not right now.
Not at the moment.
Okay.
My page I have is a personal page, and sometimes I put art on there. A lot of it's earrings because I have an earring fetish. I used to make my own earrings, and now I just support other people's businesses making their earrings. But I like different things like food and you know, different weird shapes and stuff. So but yeah, next time I will share my art social media. I've been having people pushing me to do that, and I just haven't because I'm not persistent. So.
Right, you need to do that for real. You need to display your art a lot more. Showcase your talents. But yeah, she'll be back on here real soon for sure. You know, I think it'd be great just to, you know, hear her life, because even though we grew up in the same house, we had our own experiences and our own group of friends as well. And we also had stuff we dealt with together as well, you know, especially like losing our parents and losing our brother. We went through that, you know what I mean? And she went to therapy. I did therapy myself. It is what it is, though. You know, we still, you know, going forward day by day. It's not perfect, but, you know, it is what it is, all right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. You know, we have our depression moments. She be depressed. I be depressed, too.
Yep.
I just get myself going. I get my game face on. I process how I feel, and I keep moving.
That's the best way to do it.
Exactly. But thanks for coming through.
Yeah, of course.
Even though it was abrupt, but I appreciate you coming through.
I know. Sometimes it's good to have those random surprises. You know, it's like whether it's pleasant or not, it's like, hey, you know, just thought I'd be like, hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
Well, I appreciate you for real.
Yeah, it's
All
pretty
right.
fun.
Any special thanks or shout outs?
I mean, thanks to all the people who support your podcast. Like that's a good thing. You know some great people, and I'm hoping next time I come on here, I have a little bit more to say.
We would if we
Do
could have if it was longer, but
yeah,
you're on the time limit right now.
I'm on a strict time
Yeah.
limit, so.
But you have any special things as far as like thanking your friends, your kids, or cousins, or anybody, or what? No.
I mean, yeah, thank them for existing. You
Okay.
know, thanks for just being in my life, and thanks to you know, I don't know, people just
Shout out to Toya.
yeah, Toya for always being there for moral support or support period, or just always been a great big cousin. So I appreciate her like a lot. Appreciate my friends, new and old. I appreciate my kids for being them and growing me as a person. I appreciate my brothers. I appreciate my husband. I appreciate um my cat, that guy right there. But
Yeah, he's something.
yeah, I mean, everybody. It's always like it takes more than just one person to make things kind of go and mold you. So everybody has a little part in my life that does something. So yeah,
That was wonderful.
for real.
Yeah, it
Thanks,
was.
man.
I know you crazy, man.
What?
You are.
I didn't do anything.
No, you are crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, well, let me come on. I appreciate you, man. Nah, come on.
I can't stand. I can't stand you, man.
All right. Stay tuned for the next episode, and also stay tuned in for when she make a resurgence. Peace. And what you gonna do? Well, that didn't make any sense.
That did not make any sense.
No. But yeah, stay tuned in as the saga continues. That's right. All right, we out.
What the hell, man?